Hey everyone, this is Sarah with sewingpartsonline.com, and today we're going to be going over the pearls and sequins foot. Now what this foot does is allows us to sew all these cool pearl beads and sequins ribbons onto our projects. With it, we can also sew right along necklines or any kind of curve. So I'm going to show you exactly how to install it and how to use it. So this is our pearls and sequins foot. It is a simple snap-on foot, and what is cool about this foot is when you purchase it, you get a cool kind of illustration, instruction guide. It's in a bunch of different languages. It goes over the same techniques that we're going to just touch base on in this video. So here's where your shank clamps onto. This is the needle hole. It's nice and wide for a zigzag stitch, which you'll be using to attach your sequins and pearls. The front, this is the big tunnel that the pearls and sequins go through. The back is nice and flared out, and this makes it easy to go around curves inside and outside. So let's go ahead and install it. Just go ahead and take off the foot you have on. Simple clamp, and there you go. You're ready to start sewing. So here I'm just going to show you how to attach a string of pearls. So just put it in the pressure foot and through that little tunnel. Make sure you have a, whoopsie, oh boy. Okay, make sure you have it on a zigzag stitch. Ideally you would be using clear monofilament thread. I'm going to use black thread just so you can see it, and remember if you are using a monofilament thread to remember to use a metallic needle. So I have my zigzag width at a 4.5, and I'm just going to start sewing. Also with this, you'll want to reduce your stitch tension. If it starts to pucker, reduce the tension even more. Now with this, you can do curves and swirls. It's just about moving the fabric. And then of course you can speed it up a little bit. And I have this string thrown over my shoulder just because it's the easiest way I can think of to feed it. All right, let's take a look. So here we go. It lays nice and flat and looks very pretty, especially if the thread, of course, was clear, but you can kind of see how that zigzag is what holds it in place. So in this instance, I actually sewed the pearls on the very edge of the fabric along a curve, which is pretty cool, and it's actually not too bad. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You'll take your curved piece of fabric and your string of pearls as before, just kind of, oh boy, shove the pearls back there, and in the foot you want a little bit of a train. It just makes it easier to work with. And sew a few stitches to get started. So the technique with this is to manipulate the fabric to follow the pearl. So we'll start sewing. And you can see as we come up across this corner, I have my hand over here and I'm going to kind of guide the fabric as best as I can to go along the pearl. Or so that the fabric is what needs to be turning, if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of, every time the needle lifts up, I'm kind of just inching it over just a little bit. And you do have to sew kind of slowly for curve like this. So just kind of and I can see them coming up against another angle. So here we go, kind of just try to turn. The fabric around the curve. And it gets easier as you go along. Probably have to do it really slow at first, like I did. But it goes along the curve. That's kind of what you're going for, like this. So this time we're going to add the pearls just along the edge of the fabric. I have the fabric folded. And what's important about this is you'll still obviously put your pearls down the tunnel, but the fabric is going to be just right here on the edge. In this case, it's on the left side, so that my needle just barely grabs it, maybe 1-2 millimeters. That actually grabs the fabric. So I'm just going to sew. I'm looking to make sure, yep, it's grabbing the fabric. If the pearls right up against the fold. Which really does make a pretty awesome trim. And we can go ahead and see what it looks like. Pretty cool. Definitely very cool, and it just barely nicks the fabric, but it's nice and secure. It's not going to break. So it's the same with our string of pearls. We're going to take some sequins and we're going to give it a little tail, bring it underneath the foot, kind of get it into the little tunnel, plop it down. Once again, you're going to be using a zigzag stitch, and you can start sewing. Also, you want to use monofilament thread. Now with the sequins, this color, I would actually use a smoky monofilament thread because the completely clear monofilament actually would turn out kind of white looking. So I would suggest using the smoky monofilament thread, and you just sew as you did with a string of pearls. Just try to keep the sequence in the tunnel. As the same thing with the string of pearls as well, you can do curves and swirls, whatever you want to do. A little bit easier, obviously, to do it with the sequence, but now the important thing to notice with this is you want to kind of follow the sequence. So if I were to do it the other way, I might start making these little sequence things pop up. So I kind of want to follow the direction of the sequence, if that makes any sense. And see, here we go. And it's attached, it's attached totally fine. It's starting to pop up a little bit. With this, you can tighten the tension a little bit more than you did with the pearls, but it's easier to go around curves with the sequence, but still very effective. So that was the pearls and sequins foot. To purchase your pearls and sequins foot or any of these cool sequins ribbons, visit us online at sewingpartsonline.com or at Facebook at Facebook/sewingpartsonline.